Hi, I'm Terry Murphy for Realty Times. I'm the senior editor for Realty Times Women in Business, Women in Real Estate, and in the men's room with Murph, and one of the partners with the Data Advocate, all things real estate. And today we have a special guest in Women in Real Estate. Man, we go so far back. Her name is Lynn Madison. She is the creator and founder of Lynn Madison Seminars. She's been doing this since the mid-90s. We were much peppier then, I think, Lynn. Formerly, she was the Vice President Director of Career Development for Prudential, only had 900 associates to deal with. Lynn is in the middle of all things training, and she's the perfect person right now to talk about some of the issues we're facing with the NAR-DOJ. Welcome, Lynn Madison. Yay.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you very much. I'm thrilled to be here. When Terry mentioned that I don't know if I'm the right person at the right time, but I'm the person that's here at this time. I was involved with that ABR program that you've all been hearing about before it even became part of NAR, because I have been an advocate for buyer agency and have been using buyer representation agreements here in Illinois before they were even legal. But back then I was a salesperson, so I didn't realize it wasn't legal. We're in a whole new world now. I've been calling it. I mean, it's the new normal, and we have to figure out how to navigate through it.
Well, Lynn, as one of the visionaries in real estate and being in instruction for REBAC, the ABR courses, you've got accolades up on. There's whole pages of them here, just so you know. The issues that we're facing right now have been percolating since the late 70s, and you and I know that. Agents today are concerned, and I know that one of the questions that we have as an instructor is nothing's really all that clear or finalized. Would you agree?
Right.
So
I agree.
As a longtime instructor, what do you see as one of the top current challenges you have as you address agents and memberships and associations, because you are well known there?
I think one of the biggest problems and the most frustrating things, even for the students, is the level of knowledge of the fellow students in that room. There are times where I have people in there who are literally saying this is the first they've even heard that there is a change coming, and that with everything that's happening. And that's frustrating for the people who came there to take it to the next level. It's very frustrating. I almost wish there was a way to do, this is the new normal 101, and this is 201, and this is 301. Don't show up at 201 if you haven't taken 101, because if you're going to ask me, who's the DOJ? and how did we get it? It's so frustrating for everybody.
Well, it's been coming for a long time because first of all, we vary from state to state, as you know, board to board, association to association. And part of the issue is a consistency of conversation.
Correct.
And if you look at the agents, you and I both understand the industry and the turnover. We've had these wildly fabulous interest rates for the last 10 or 15 years. And the average agent doesn't last 11 months if my recent data is correct. So they didn't even have the time to read their agency legislation, their agreements, and whatever. And I don't know that we do a good enough job to make sure that they even know that they exist. So I guess, what are you going to see as the biggest challenge going forward in the next couple of months, as everybody's worried about, the deadline, and really nobody really quite knows what's going to happen after that?
Yeah, I'm not sure that even, let's go on the presumption. No, okay. We're going to change everything. We're going to move forward with no offer of compensation in the MLS. But the settlement hasn't even been approved yet at this moment in time. We don't know that the settlement's even going to get approved the way it's been set forward. We've already heard that the DOJ is not 100% happy with our settlement, and that they may make some changes to it. I've been saying all along, I wish I had somebody's phone number at the DOJ where I could just call this person and say, if you're going to drop the hammer and change something, then do it now. Why are we waiting until another couple of months goes by so that we have to shift again. So the reason I'm saying that is we don't know if this is the final where we're going to be when this is over with. Let's say on January 1st of next year. We don't know that. And it's so challenging to make sure that our realtors, our agents, are staying on top of things, because one of the concerns I've been doing a lot of these kinds of sessions, hour and a half, 2 hours. I know this one's not that long, but for associations, for brokerage companies, et cetera. And I have been at the very beginning of those, at the end of those, and any handout I give says this information was accurate as of this date. And it is your responsibility to stay on top of any changes that have happened since then, because people aren't staying on top of the changes. Plus, I got to say this, will you please, everyone, stop believing everything you see on those Facebook groups, because some of those people are crazy and they say things like they know what they're talking about.
Exactly.
And they are dead but wrong.
Well, that is so accurate, because, my partners at the Data Advocate, Saul Klein, who's actually now the vice president of the San Diego Association, MLS,
Yeah.
and John Riley, who wrote The Language of Real Estate. John is, that's his focus every day, is the developments. And there are so many myths out there and crazy people saying things that are just not accurate. So I want to emphasize that you, as somebody who's been in the middle of this for as long as we've both been in real estate, ask someone who is a real resource, as opposed to believing something you read.
Yes.
So you're right. There's going to be a lot of changes. I think the one thing we have to be aware of as members of an association is that it is not clear. And so to be avaricious about understanding your own agency agreements, being careful, because we never want to mislead our consumers. Right. And if we don't know, then we have to say we don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
And by the way, I always say, look, how long have we been in real estate? I mean, if you've ever sold your own property, it's sort of like doing your own root canal. The kit's not going to help. You need professional help, because it's complicated. What do you suggest we do going forward? Because we're going to have you back as this thing rolls out.
I think that our one of the things that I focus on the most as we move forward is how critical it is that our agents can explain to the buyers what their value is, because they can't. And I'm being very honest with you. We've been doing it with our sellers all these years. Otherwise, sellers wouldn't have signed listing agreements with us. Why we're struggling so much with explaining to the buyers what our value is, so that they will sign the buyer representation agreements and we can move forward. I think we just have to keep helping them with that and giving them ways to create their value. It's there. They already have value. They just don't know how to articulate it.
Exactly. Yeah. So here's the thing. I loved, and I'm still licensed, listing properties, helping the consumer understand what the process was. We didn't do it with buyers, especially in the last couple of years, because the market was so ferociously fast.
Yes.
Here's the thing, though. The value is not the things you do, but the things you can do, because of you understand boots on the ground. And you and I both know how important that is. You're right. As instructors, as associations, as franchises and corporations, our focus should be how to articulate true, authentic value for this. And so you're going to have to join us again. Lynn, if somebody wanted you to speak, somebody wanted you to teach, somebody just wanted to talk to you, take you out for lunch, what's the best way to reach you?
Probably, I tell this to everybody. I'm not even going to give you my phone number, because I don't answer my phone. Okay, so, because I'm never there to answer my phone. So the best way to reach me is my email address, lynn@madisonseminars.com. That I get back to everybody with the email as quickly as I can. But I think more to the point that you just brought up. I think more, and I'm just going to say it, managing brokers need to take responsibility for helping their agents, because part of the problem we have here is a lack of training at the office level. There's no doubt about that. And there are offices all across the country that are doing a stellar, if I could even think of a word better than that. I mean, a magnificent job at training their agents. And there's other brokerage companies that haven't done diddly squat to get their agents ready for what's happening here. I don't know how they're going to survive this if they're not ready. So they need, and NAR made the ABR class, and we rewrote it in the last 6 months, by the way, to make sure that it was up to date as we can make it. The education portion of ABR is totally free. That's something that most people have spent over the years $250 to $300 for. It's being offered for free, and yet we still have people who haven't taken it. I don't understand that.
There's your golden nugget, and I'm going to be one of the people that's going to, or Realty Times and the Data Advocate, going to be the people who are going to help spread that word, because it is a critical element to our professionalism. And I think that if there's a silver lining in this at all, it will elevate the professionalism as we, and you and I both know, real estate's complicated. It's complicated both demographically and universally. So we need more Lynn Madison time. So I'm going to ask you to join us again at another time. Thank you so much for joining us. Join us for another segment with Lynn, because we're going to keep tapping her because she's really great information. I'm Terry Murphy for Realty Times, Women in Business, Women in Real Estate, the Men's Room with Murph, and the Data Advocates. Join us again for another segment.